We should be live now. Yes.
What, you've got us live? We don't got nothing yet. Oh. The circle is turning. The icon has changed. Silence, Paul. Welcome, everyone, to GI Joburgers Special Missions. I don't know what number it is, but we got some amazing guests with some amazing toys, and it's the first live stream of 2019. Hello, everybody. Introduce yourselves, gentlemen. You first, Rob.
I'm Rob. I'm still not married, but it's 2019 and it's pretty cool.
We got our other regular suspect, Paul Loebscher, though he's going to dive and probably show off some of his scratchings.
Yeah, I'm going to be like doing a bit of drawing, so I'm going to be Magic 8 Paul on the chat because my responses are going to be vague.
And we've got two new and exciting guests. The handsome face you see on your screen now, that's Jason. You might know him from Facebook. He does regularly pop up doing his own videos with his son, no less. Very inspiring stuff.
Yeah.
And, of course, joining us from the other side of the globe, we have our buddy called Brent.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah. So Brent and Jason are joining us because both of them contributed carded toys to the channel, which always is a predicament for me personally. I'm like, I don't do carded collections. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna look at it. It's pretty and all. I'm not about to start my own wallpaper. But here's the rub: these guys both want me, and for various different reasons, and we're gonna get into that later. But they want us to open these, and so what better way to do that than live with our friends out there? And as you can see, the Christmas tree is still up. So we're gonna perhaps invite a little bit of nostalgia into the party. And we're going to do an uncarding of a classic G.I. Joe action figure or three with you guys. Very exciting. And maybe just talk about what that used to feel like. I know, and I was just talking off air to the guys, like the packages that you wanted as a child had that distinctive, not quite A4 size. There was stiff cardboard with a little bubble protrusion on the side. It was obviously... I've learned in later years that is a rather challenging thing to wrap well. You know, square or rectangular shapes, easy. You can make them look neat. Carded action figures, not so much. But that was invariably what you wanted. So, you sort of rifle through your presents. Anything that was too soft, save that for later. Go straight for the gold.
That's why you had to wrap two of them. You had to put them like that. You had to link them, and then it was easier to wrap them.
Smart.
That's
smart.
On the 2 or 3 occasions I got GI Joes, that's what happened.
Nowadays, you could get these handy star cases.
Ooh.
Oh, am I giving away too much? But yeah, I mean, that's one way of doing it as well. Who's in the chats? Who's joined us? Rob, let's talk to some people.
Who we got here? We got Gaz, we got Matt, we got Darren Cobb, we got a Green Yeti up in here, Joe Fan 82.
The usual suspects.
Nice.
Good evening, gentlemen, and good morning, gentlemen.
And yes, we are very dedicated. 2 a.m. We can't not do it at this time.
What you gonna do?
No one else has to wake up at an ungodly time. Oh my god, it's too much.
Hey,
I think we've done live streams approaching this time, but never quite this time. So yeah, if you were in Australia, we were probably a little bit too early for you. And if you were in the States and it was a weekday, it was probably still working hours. So we'll take the hit. It's okay. Paul is fucking employed. Rob's got his day off. I'm just the lonely idiot.
Well, I'm glad to have your voice back. I mean, like, I went to see Stevens in Matilda, the Roald Dahl musical. And he kind of comes to talk to me beforehand, and he's like...
But the makeup looked great.
Oh yeah, I know the makeup was like so good. But like in the show, he can like, you know, sing and do whatever else. But like he was saving himself for the performance. And you got a couple of days off, which I'm actually kind of happy about. I mean, being a newly married man, you want to spend a little time with your wife.
Precisely. Very guiltily. I do appreciate the fact that, like, yeah, we did get a little bit of a staycation honeymoon in and amongst all the madness. What are you up to, Paul? What is that?
I'm gonna be drawing some stuff. So I just did a quick rough doodle of one of the GI Joes I was gonna draw tonight. I got quite a little lineup, and as we go through, I'm just gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna quickly change back to my camera just so I can show everybody, just to give everybody a quick glimpse. So I'm gonna stop screen sharing for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, and you should see me. Okay, and
Hey,
first we're gonna do Chabang. Chabang.
Baby, when she moves, she moves.
So I'm gonna warm up with Chabang. I actually drew one of him earlier on, but that was just to get the art chops warmed up. Then this bad boy snuck up in an unboxing that I shot recently. You guys saw that on YouTube. It's low light. I call it version 2, but it's actually version 3 because version 2 is the Night Force version. I'm going to throw him in there. I'm going to give that a bit of a shot. And this very, very cool toy that arrived on Christmas, this bad boy here, this Crimson Guard. I'm dying to draw this guy. And this was compliments of Jason Merrill and Evil Man. And I got a really cool artwork with it too. So I just had to celebrate by also drawing a really cool artwork of him. And I love this toy. I can't believe, like, I mean, the last time I played with one of these, I think I was 11. And Crimson Guards are like one of the best GI Joe toys ever made, ever, bar none. So that's going to happen tonight in my drawing stream. So I'm going to keep drawing. And then you guys can do the unboxing. I'm gonna mute so that when I talk, or so that the scratchings on the screen don't prompt any me while you're trying to do unboxing.
Well, I'm glad the Crimson Guard landed well. It was fun to have him do the cards and work with Steven to get a fellow friend to fly it over.
My mule.
Yes.
Oh, Keenan.
Steven can attest to how many times I hit him up nervous that like you guys always talk about the South African Post and how like this thing would arrive in like March.
It's amazing. I absolutely love this card, by the way. It's actually really cool. Thank you so much.
It's so close up.
Oh, there we go.
Paul's isn't the only artwork being showcased this evening. That is Jason's son's rendition of Scoop. Magnificent.
Well, he's a fan, and
really appreciate it. And I'm so glad now I have 3 versions of Scoop, or 4 I think. I'm going to do a video soon. I'm glad I have a carded version now. I have my original version. I have a new version I got. Where did I get Kokomo Toys? And I have the FSS version. So now I have. Oh, and I have one that Dave Cabal sent me. It's a little tiny version. It's like a little awesome version.
I don't know what they are. They're sort of pre-posed plastic guys.
Yeah. Well, I think I have all of them now. So I'm actually set. This is amazing.
You are in a category of one, I think, in GI Joe fandom. And this is something Jason and I had a little back and forth on. Like, you know, you parted with a vintage Scoop action figure on card, simply saying like, you don't know anyone else in the world who would appreciate it as much as this guy. You know, Scoop.
Yeah.
Scoop's only function in most people's collections is the completionist thing. No one kind of prioritizes their Scoop collection. It's not like collecting Boba Fett's like good old Dan Lawson at Toy Galaxy. This is like very niche. Very, very niche.
Well, I'd like to think that every single Joe, you know, on the back of this packaging has, you know, has someone who loves that figure. I mean, like, who else really loves Shocker? I mean, this guy.
I'm wearing a cape.
But I'd like to think they all have fans. I'm the Scoop fan, so, you know. Even my mom actually still remembers. I showed this to her a couple of days ago, and she was like, "Oh my god, I remember buying that for you."
You're kidding.
She did, yeah. She was like, she remembers actually buying this for me at Dion, one of the local like it's kind of like supermarket-y type shops.
Wow.
Yeah, she remembers buying it for me.
Brent, let's hear from you, man. Like, you had well, an unfortunate situation on eBay turned into something quite fortuitous and a very cool talking point for this evening's live stream. You purchased, without realizing it, vintage recards.
Yeah, and one of the things that we often complain about, particularly not being in the States, is that we pay an exorbitant amount in shipping and fees and whatnot. But in this situation, it really looked after me. So there was basically a lot of 15 or 16 carded figures. Now, most of them were GI Joe carded figures, but there were some He-Man figures and some Brave Star, something that I'm not particularly familiar with. But when you looked at the lot, there was obviously the two repros that that were part of it that I sent over to you, Steve. But there were some other great vintage ones like Viper carded, Bat carded, I think Mindbender. So there was a lot there that, even though I thought it could be risky, just like it is purchasing a flag on eBay or a Defiant, you never know how they're going to arrive. And you know, I've had a Defiant story that's pretty tragic as well. I thought I'd give it a go, and you know, the seller was really decent. He was pretty upfront with when he was going to send it, gave me tracking numbers and all of those sort of things. So we went ahead with the deal. Everything arrived. Most of the stuff arrived in star cases, which is a pretty good indication that this guy cared. But having a closer look on the two carded figures that I really wanted to be legit, it was quite apparent that they've either been, well, recarded's not the right word. It's probably a homemade custom, so it wasn't a Beggars Canyon type product that is out on the market. It wasn't labeled reproduction, but on closer inspection, the fonts used on the card are a little bit off, and those sort of things. So that obviously told me that they weren't legitimate. And so when that happened, I reached out to the seller, and he was pretty good at the start. You know, really apologetic. We tried to work out basically what the value of these figures were. So I used Mark Bellamo's book just to get a rough guide, all of those sort of things. And he was, you know, giving me the story that, you know, he's just lost his job, and if we could make up some of that value in other figures. And so he offered a carded torpedo and bits and pieces. And I said, well, that's okay. But, you know, obviously for these two figures on card, that was really the main hook for me on this deal. And then everything just went dark from his end, and I couldn't reach him. He didn't reply to any of them emails or messages that I sent. And so what I ended up having to do is obviously report the issue to eBay. They were pretty prompt in terms of helping me, but they couldn't get a hold of him either. So when this sort of happens, they have a process in place that they try and reach an amicable agreement in terms of how to resolve this. But when one person goes dark, there's not much you can do. And I think in these situations, when that does happen, whether it's eBay themselves or PayPal, the payment provider, stepped in and basically just refunded me for the whole amount. So in a nutshell, I ended up getting everything for free in lieu of the fact that two of these figures weren't legitimate. So I didn't lose anything apart from just time trying to resolve it. And it's a shame that this happened. I generally like to, you know, jump in heads first with these deals and just hope that they work out. It's always a bit difficult when, you know, you're on the other side of the world and working with
preach, brother. Oh yes.
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I ended up with a whole bunch of carded figures that were legit. Some of them I weren't expecting to add to my collection, but I've kept them. But I was kind of left with this conundrum as to what to do with these carded repros. One of the things I wasn't sure of, and you know, we might be able to discover this tonight, is whether or not the figures are legitimate. I know when Black Major first started doing repro figures, I'm not certain that he reversed the rivets on the arms for the first initial run. So quite often some of those first run repro figures were just sent out as or people were selling them as legitimate stock. Obviously, since then, he's reversed the rivets on the arm, but that still allows some sellers to pull out parts and take broken feet or other body parts and put sort of a hybrid figure together. I'm hoping, based on how on when this deal went down, that these the figures on the card are legitimate. That is my hope. It'd be great for you to be able to add these ones to your collection and know that they're legitimate. But there's probably no way of knowing until you open them up. And as you are an open Steve.
I mean, as you say, if the rivets aren't reversed, we might be in for an interesting ride in terms of authenticating them. Maybe Jace, you could be of some assistance there as well, like things to look out for. Hello, Alexander. What's up, brother?
You can say hi.
Good evening, dude.
We were just showing off Scoop and Crimson Guard.
Oh yeah.
So
Very cool.
I'm going to say scoop it up a couple of times because some people in chat are going to do shots of tequila every time I say scoop. Tequila's an alcohol, so don't do that, Alexander. Don't drink. Tequila.
Oh, come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. You're too crazy.
That's Rob.
I mean, Rob.
Paul is
Yes.
drawing.
I think Jason's going to join you on
yeah.
the drinking game.
Oof.
I'll join you.
Oh my
What-
god.
Well,
is that
so
you're sipping
when
back
it comes to, so right now I'm doing Wild Turkey single barrel.
Very
Wow.
nice. Very festive.
Yeah.
That sounds really good, actually.
With a
I'm
cat in the
thinking,
lap.
Yes.
All right.
Trying to drink her soda.
Okay.
I mean,
So yeah, with Black Major or Red Laser or stuff like that, I mean, once it's in hand, you should be able to tell a physical difference in the plastics. You should. I've only handled a couple. I don't own any. It's not something I look for. And in fact, I would really love to see some of these guys that have this capability actually do not just repaints, but actually do sculpting onto, like, I don't know, some boring arms and boring legs and make new things for us instead of just repainting the same old Steel Brigade. But that's just my opinion.
That said, that 6-pack of Snake Eyes V2s is pretty snappy stuff.
It's
new
pretty.
decos really adds some interesting new life to something that has only ever been in the classic black with the gray. Have you seen these?
I don't think I have yet.
It's impressive.
Although-
Well, there's a purple with black accents. There's white with red accents, which is like Cobra Mortal. Oh man, he did 6. Black Major did 6, and they are all pretty stunning. I wouldn't mind checking them out in hand. But yes, as you say, in hand there is a quality difference. Certainly the Battle Android Trooper, that was also an awesome donation that I have. You have one as well. Paul has one. We have a trio of bats, which are Red Laser Customs.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of there's a little bit more plastic flash than a factory produced Hasbro version. I think, you'll feel it as you manipulate the joints. There'll be a little bit of a sandiness to the joints.
Yeah.
So it's
I
got
just thought I saw a fly.
It was a
It's
mosquito.
mosquito.
Fortunately, we don't live in malaria territory, so we'll be okay. But my wife complains. She wakes up with the little red spots every night. I'll switch on the what is it? The repellent.
Oh,
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
smells
the-
bad. Man.
Yeah. No,
The
well,
mosquito
if the
coil.
door was closed. If you just keep the doors closed, they can't get inside.
Well, when you leave the lights burning, the windows open.
Yeah, but I mean, you're in the bedroom over there. You'll be fine.
Oh man, what was I gonna say? Is there anything pressing in the chats that needs airing on?
I think I'm handling
air.
this. Darren is apparently on a train. and he
Ah.
has no Wi-Fi, but he's watching us
On
with
his data.
Yeah.
That's dedication, Darren. Thank you, man. And yes, that's where he works.
He's traveling from Bondi to Waterfall, Sydney, and back.
Bondi.
I promised Darren we'd do a live stream at a more reasonable hour for him, and I'm sorry you're at work, so
it seems
Sundays,
to be working out.
you
I
know.
mean, he probably checking the tickets, and he's like, okay, guys, just hold on a minute. I just have to chat quickly with these guys.
Rob said, "What?" He said,
Nice.
"Scoop, everybody,
Scoop
shot."
again. Okay, guys, take another shot.
Don't break the train, okay?
Just to add to the red laser thing, the best way I can sort of compare the plastic, it's very much like model kit plastic. It's got that sort of
ABS.
I wouldn't say ABS. It's more like they call it polystyrene or styrene plastic. I find, it's very much that. It's also very similar to and when I say this, please, I don't mean any offense to the Red Laser Customs, because they are cool, but also some of these sort of knockoff Japanese figures. The red laser stuff. Major laser. The red laser stuff is actually like that. It's a much more refined plastic than that. So it's
Nobody likes it.
Nobody.
Well, it is a source of some controversy, man. Like, I don't know where I sit on the repro game. I mean, if I was an army builder, yeah, but I don't know if it sits well with me. I like to have one of everything, one in reasonably good nick, or one that's kind of beat up that I can take out and play with. Where does a reproduction sit on that spectrum? Will I enjoy playing with a reproduction as much as playing with a beat up original, for instance? I don't think I'd answer yes to that. So,
well, you guys are already playing with knockoffs when you have the core.
True. Oh, the core, man.
From graduation.
Sorry, what's that, Alexander?
What did you say?
From graduation day, I think he used those cores.
Yeah, and we kicked their ass.
He's watched your graduation day video
like 3 times.
A lot.
Sweet dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sergeant Slaughter's the man. Can we all agree?
Yes.
Yeah. It's good fun. Yeah, I wanted to see him put the 1986 team through their paces before they had their trial by fire. Speaking of webisodes, I have this hotshot computer now, which
it's pretty fancy.
It's
I mean, look at that.
Ooh.
Jeez, it's all like red lights and stuff.
Yep. It landed on my lap sooner than expected. I thought I'd continue to fill the financial hole left by the wedding, but the missus stepped in and helped me out.
Oh, happy wedding anniversary.
Friend of GI Joburg. We can add another plaque to that hall. And that
Your
is
wife.
There we go. I mean, I'm flying through the edits on the new Atlantis Factor stuff.
Nice.
That should be a whole lot of fun. I don't know. Is it fun?
Of course it's fun.
Grown men playing with their toys. Well, that's
hilarious.
That's the fun part.
Hilarious in a good way is what I mean. It's really cool.
It also gives me an excuse to get out of the house with vintage toys, which I think sometimes we all need. We sometimes need to stop treating these things as museum pieces or particularly precious. They are precious, but I think they're intended to be played with. There will always be people that keep them super minty for posterity, but I think, our time on this earth is short, man. I don't want to go to my grave without toys that I've played with. And on that note, I think it's time. It's time, boys.
Nice.
You recognize that?
Yeah? Check it out, Alexander. Your dad sent
I know. I saw the video.
And
I saw it twice.
How smart is your dad? I mean, I think I might have mentioned it on one podcast. I was going through this beta bin at JoeCon, picked up this roadblock, a very cool roadblock, possibly the best. That's controversial.
I agree.
And it was going for like $5 a figure. It just absently let it slide back into the what was I thinking? Anyways,
that was so random because I was
perfectly
behind
happy
you.
with that.
I was
But-
behind you. I was walking with you, and you did that, and I was like, "Why didn't Steve take that?" Because I thought, "Oh,
And
cool,
then
I'm
you
gonna
did
grab."
the same thing.
Yeah, and then I did the same thing. I'm like, "What am I doing?"
Fools. Well, it's been rectified. We have one. It's on card, which once again gives me a crisis of conscience. But
I can help with that.
it is exactly.
So roadblock was one of my 2 or 3 favorites as a kid, and in 2017 I decided I want to just collect all the different roadblocks
And Destros.
and destros. And so that particular roadblock, I was out of the game by the time that uniform came about, but that is absolutely my favorite uniform for roadblock. And he comes carded with and without the mini comic. And I had saw him on Amazon. I have him without the mini comic, but I didn't have him with the mini comic. You want to talk about serious completionist nonsense? So I bought it, and it came to me, and I was like, you know what? It's Amazon. Screw it. It was cheap, and I already had one. Yes, there you go, buddy.
Nice.
And so if you look at the back of that card, the UPC's cut out, so it's already a damaged card. So when you guys, and so when Rob mentioned Scoop, I reached out over Instagram, and Rob ignored me because I assumed he thought like I was trying to sell him something.
Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry.
And then when you and Paul mentioned Roadblock and Crimson Guard, I was like, well, what a nice, easy package. You and I have communicated a few times. So it was an easy way to just reach out and be like, hey, can I send this to Rob? I've had Scoop for a year. It sits in a box. And so the other 2 was basically me taking advantage of Keenan because I didn't tell anybody.
Keenan is my mule friend who circumvented the South African Postal Service by just coming back home for the holidays. He lives in New York.
Yeah.
Shout out Keenan. Thank you, buddy.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I knew that it would be open. I know you're not a carded collector, and the card is damaged. So.
Oh, have at it then.
Absolutely.
I will use an implement and not go absolutely ape on this. Destroy it with extreme prejudice because it's yeah. I mean, you say it's been defaced, but honestly, it's still a beautiful card. But yeah, this roadblock should be freed because
I'd prefer
a classic character in his 90s getup is important because 90s toys play well with 90s toys. I think we'll all agree that he wouldn't look quite right in the 83 HQ with a bunch of green shirt style Joes. He does, however, look good on a Monster Blaster or my new Battle Wagon, for instance. He was made to fit in with those kind of displays. You can't very well use your 1984 roadblock in that kind of setup. So it's important to have updates of classic characters and one that is this good. If you are a purist and you only collect up to 85, 86, you're missing out, man. It's been said many, many times, but there are quality toys just around the corner of that decade. There are also
I started with the same thing. I'm going to stop at 89, and somebody sent him one figure from 94, and I was like, and we'll go to the end.
So here we go, boys and girls. Card of GI Joe. It's time to unseal and taste that factory air from 1992.
My goodness. The colors are really good on this figure as well.
Why, do the colors generally go on a...
No, I mean, it looks really good though. I mean, it's bright, but it's not unnecessarily bright.
It's not garish.
Yeah, it's not over the top. Not that over the top colors are bad. I mean, some neon things look really good if you put them in the right setting. What have you found to open this with? What is that?
Okay, so I smashed a disposable razor and pulled out just the blade. It's super duper sharp, super duper lethal. Slides right under. Oh, should we free the figure first, or let's free the mini comic? Yes. This is fascinating because these pack-ins we never got in South Africa. In fact, I never saw this figure at retail. We got the rest of his wave mates. Well,
yeah, I don't
What
even
year?
remember seeing
we
that.
got Flak Fight, but we got wetsuits.
Yeah.
We got him up here in Joburg.
You did.
David had him.
Whatever,
Yeah.
Joburg.
Schmoberg.
The
Yeah, but I mean,
America
like,
of Africa.
you know, throw us a bone. I mean,
Secrets
it's one of the
the
few
Dark
things we did get.
Lagoon. Looks good. Hey, are people seeing this? Or are they seeing your artwork, Paulie?
I don't know if we talk loud enough.
We're seeing
we
it.
might stay honest.
So it's the
I
secret
think
of the
we
Black
have two of the
Lagoon.
mini comic.
Wicked, man.
Wow.
It's an order form for.
That's a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Like
85 and
the
84 and
Big Bang
87.
Figures were much longer.
Anyways.
Okay, so it's not a mini comic. It is the
Steven.
well.
Your knowledge has failed you.
Imagine as late as 1992, you could get that gem right there, referring to the killer whale. My word.
A beautiful vehicle.
I mean, there should be. I mean, there was clearly a surplus of them back then.
And Cobra battle barges.
Had only we known. Oh, interesting.
Well,
Easter egg.
The mail away whale is different
Oh yeah.
than the retail whale. There was a darker green. There was a couple other differences.
Which makes it more desirable, presumably.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
I wonder. I mean, I suppose they just did a grab bag on whichever figure they were going to put in C-Ray. But can you notice that it's Ace in there? Nice. Cool.
I
Ace
can't
Turner.
believe. I
was
can't
that, Al?
believe they put an Ace in a Cobra vehicle, and Ace is not a Cobra, and nobody should like Scoop.
No.
Like,
And
why
we're
are you
back again.
the rub?
It's a joke.
Oh, it's a joke.
All right, next
Sorry.
up.
What is the secret of the Dark Lagoon?
I don't know. You read it. I'm uncarding a vintage action figure.
Apparently, it's a hideous plan unfolds in Cobra Island, so it's probably something there. There's some amazing details in here.
Okay, weapons tree time. No one's really a fan of the weapons trees, but I can tell you that I'm a big fan of that weapon there.
That is pretty sweet.
That's Stare
Me too.
AG. Bullpup's gun, right? Oh no, what's the name? Bullhorn.
Bullhorns.
Well,
Bullhorn.
Bullhorn's gun, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bullhorn.
Uh-oh. We need power.
Oh,
Oh, you plug it into the laptop.
Oh, I can do that.
I got it. Yep.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
you can't just blurt out when they're talking. Why don't you grab the mini comics?
You can see we're pro streamers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got this waxed.
Make sure. Oh, you put me on low. What did you put me on?
Yes.
Okay, guys, hold on. Take that off.
Okay. And we're back.
Okay.
So yeah, weapons trees. Yeah, no one's really a fan, but as I say, the weapons contained on this tree are good ones. Just a pity, like as Roadblock, he didn't come in this sort of reissued formats without the I don't know, the machine gun helicopter suicide device.
This.
He didn't come with his massive machine gun, which looks like Marduce, but with a scope on it. It's like a hybrid between his original accessory and...
That's Recall Robo.
I know, dude. Well, your
That's
dad
Recall
is
Robo.
one of the fortunate few. Yeah, no, the gun that one came with is quite a fascinating and very unique piece, which didn't see the light of day ever again, as pictured here in the artwork.
Rob, Steve, just so you guys know, I'm not getting any video from you guys, so just check if your...
What have we done?
I don't know, just check that your camera, if your camera is on or off.
Oh, there. It's off. Hey, we're back.
As pictured here in the artwork.
So, what year did you guys get the '92 wave in Johannesburg?
I shudder to say we were getting 92 stuff in 94.
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of
Feels like
mirrored
2 years
the
later.
American releases 2 years later, but with some notable subtractions, like
Mhm.
some things were
Like him.
which is why, like, it's interesting that Paul mentions he did see this figure
Yeah.
in Johannesburg. We didn't see it in Cape Town, or at least I didn't. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
And so, with the 92 stuff, did you guys get the mini comics?
No.
There was 4 of them.
We got none of the pack-ins.
Yeah, it's the same like with Scoop. I mean, as far as I remember, we never had the free face camouflage either. So this is actually quite fascinating to actually have that like in there with him. It's probably too old to play with now, though.
You and I spoke about toys that were released in 1988 that had the sort of Iron Grenadiers livery. When we got them, they were on a straight up orange, yellow, red digital explosion, not the blue, and no Iron Grenadiers marking. It would just say the enemy.
Guys, in 1992, when Northgate, the mall closest to my house, had opened, the Dion's was also part of that mall. And David and I went to that mall pretty much in the first week. We went to go watch the movie Toys with my mom. I know, we were so cool. But we got GI Joes that day, and the GI Joes we got, and I can remember this vividly, is David got the Snake Eyes, the blue Snake Eyes with the orange goggles, and I got an Undertow. So that was the wave that we had in 92. And I imagine that was combined with others, because I think Static Line was also in that wave, because I got him not too long after Undertow. So if that helps to answer your question, just with the release timelines.
It was random.
It was random.
Guys, I got a new roadblock.
Very nice.
It smells good. It smells amazing. Jeez. Thanks, Jason. Much appreciated, man.
Roadblocks like white people.
Weirdos. So
he's one of my favorites.
Roadblock, what kind of accessories would he come with is what I want to know. Would they try and build in his specialty as a chef in any way? Like he just comes with his Mardus and a cleaver.
Well, he doesn't need the cleaver so long as he has full sleeve tattoos.
Sick. Nice.
I also think him and a rock and roll buddy cop would be...
Perfecto.
I would dig it if what's the name of that actor now? He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
I can't. He's such a
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. I think Terry Crews would be the best roadblock ever.
Amazing. Utterly fantastic.
All right, let's not slow down the momentum. Shall we get into it? Brent, are you ready?
A real thing.
To destroy some repro cards with extreme prejudice?
Yeah, and make sure you do destroy it, because
it was the ethical thing to do.
Exactly. Open it like it's Christmas 1983.
Well, it kind of is, and the fact that it's approaching 3 a.m. in South Africa kind of feels like, that Christmas Eve spirits where, as a young child, you would go to bed early so you could wake up earlier than you've ever woken up before, and hopefully get at one of your stocking fillers before mom found out. No, that was me.
Same here.
Like, it's Christmas morning. I've gone to bed. I've woken up. Therefore, it's Christmas morning. Therefore, I can have a present. So,
yeah. Oh.
There are 2 figures, Rob.
Oh my goodness.
One for me.
What?
One for you.
Give me a random one.
How do we decide?
Random.
Just
random.
Random.
Yeah.
They're both swivel on 1983 figures, or so we might.
Well, let's make the stream really interesting. 1 blindfold, 2 blindfolds, 1 knife.
We're gonna fight it out.
More of a pistols are drawn to the guy, or at least an arm wrestle.
Arm wrestle, oh jeez, but which one are we arm wrestling? Oh, the winner chooses.
Well, I don't know.
You're pretty buff, dude.
Whatever. Okay.
Where is it?
In your closet?
Very good.
There we go. I guess we got heads. This is heads, and that's tails. So that's tails for anyone who's wondering. This is a 5 rand coin. For Americans, it means it's worthless.
For Australians as well.
Yeah. That's heads. So heads, the winner chooses what they want. Okay, so what do you call? Oh wait, no. Okay. So I'm gonna call tails. Okay, I got tails, so I get to choose. Is that right? Yeah. Is that what I said?
Is absolutely correct. We have
Okay, what we got?
a Cobra officer.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. That's tempting.
And
Can't beat the classic.
Snake Eyes, baby.
Wow.
What'll it be, Rob? What'll it be?
Oh my goodness. Snake Eyes.
Yes, very good.
Well, you've already expressed your love so much with the Cobra officers. You might as well give something.
Something that's already giving me hope that this is
These are so nice.
original is the fact that the rivets, while they aren't reversed, they are painted. Didn't early repros have unpainted rivets? I don't know.
I don't know.
But I also don't know if the
I'd
resolution
like
is
it
good
twice.
enough on this camera, but yeah, it's not quite as sharp as the original artwork, the Hector Greedo stuff, and also maybe the blue is a little bit too blue.
So it is a little fuzzy, but question, when looking at the card, is the card, and you can feel around the edges, is it two stickers that were glued to the front and back of a card? Because that's how a lot of custom guys do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it was
I
done.
think it is actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So that's
pieces
always a
of
really
cardboard
easy way to.
stuck together, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's always an easy way to tell a card, other than the fuzziness, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't the card artwork wasn't a direct scan from some of the old CDs that have been floating around. It has been reproduced digitally, but the fonts, as I said earlier, that I've used is just
Fine.
off.
You can leave the door open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Interesting though.
I don't know. Once again, I don't know if you're getting enough resolution on that, but yeah, it's slightly less sharp, but it's going to be trashed.
No.
We will
Can I
prevent
cut it
any.
open? Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do it the conservative way?
Yeah.
No, Rob, we've got to do
We
this
have to
like
ruin it.
like children. Oh wait,
Rip it over like children.
here's an
Rob.
interesting point.
We weren't alive when these came out.
No, but you used to cut your bubbles as a child. You wouldn't tear them. You
Yeah,
used to use
actually,
a
that's
knife.
true.
Guy.
I was always a big protector. I'm gonna get a knife quickly.
No, use the blade.
Ah,
Do not trust yourself. Yeah, don't try this at home. This thing is lethal.
Okay, which side is the second side? Okay. Oh, jeez.
3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my goodness, Steven, why are you ruining
it's
it?
very well glued. Let me assure you that. That's
Wow, this is
not a
really
giveaway.
sharp.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that separation.
Love it.
Why are you
Yeah.
ruining
Yeah.
it?
White cardboard under there.
Oh jeez. Okay, I've gone beyond ruining. Okay, fuck.
Just do it, brother. Just do it.
It's happening.
It's, as I said, the adhesive is a lot stronger. I mean, I'm actually
Show
kind of
them in a
like
minute. Let them do this first. But that's awesome.
coming apart before
That is
it's actually
impressive.
peeling away from the card. I mean, from the bubble.
I
Yeah.
half cut it open, so it's safe-ish.
Well, now you have a nice piece of custom
Artwork.
scan. Custom scan.
Did you just say
This is very
scam?
challenging.
Scam.
Yo.
That's why you
Scan?
Yes.
Yeah, this was a lot easier when we were kids. I think repros they really don't want you to open these. They're like, don't open them. Okay, cool. So as you can see, I didn't actually ruin the packaging too much.
Freedoms.
It's still pretty decent. So don't
I
worry.
have destroyed it.
You just did that on purpose. With the card.
It's so good.
No one will ever be duped by this. When I'm dead and gone and my deceased estate is up for auction and someone's like, oh, what is that? That looks like it's worth some money. And they dupe someone. You, however...
Yeah, I'm gonna dupe someone. Someone's gonna make a lot of money off me when I'm dead.
But,
I
put that away. The figures.
like these packaging though.
How do they feel?
These feel real. Oh my god.
As I said, there's a smoothness to the articulation,
Mm.
which kind of makes me feel like you know, it was machined very finely in the early 80s. Sweatshop labor. I can smell it. I can smell the sweat. Yeah,
like a toy.
but it's, I mean, it's, yeah.
Smells like victory.
There's a nice to
You're
the
adding
joint.
those sound effects in.
I know, but it's needs to be.
Good times.
Huh. Are we getting power?
I think your laptop needs power.
Oh dear. Rob's on tech supports. So I get to play with Snake Eyes. Oh yes, Brent, I'm very pleased to note that Snake Eyes is authentically loose.
Yeah, no, he's
That's
very
great.
loose.
You know that's legit when he can do ninja kicky action.
Any figure that can do the jitterbug is probably a vintage figure.
We love loose toys. I don't believe in tightening joints. I believe in being a pose ninja. You gotta have a certain skill when it comes to posing a guy with loose joints. You gotta find that center of gravity, that sweet spot where even a loose joint kind of power. Take out that adapter, the one all the way to the right. That one. Yeah.
The Zen of
We're on it.
GI Joe.
The accessories look cool too. I've never actually owned or had any prior experience with this satchel. You can see they cheaped out at the back, but for all intents and purposes, I mean, this is GI Joe history right there.
Okay, we got power again.
You know, the original Snake Eyes. It's easy to forget, but he came with a man bag.
So close.
His little purse, which doesn't. Oh man, you can't really side swing it like that very well.
Can you get a good up close on the Uzi's sights?
You can try.
They're very fine. They're not accessory pack.
Yeah. No. It's I've been talking to a few people, and there's evidently like 3 different versions of the Uzi between 82 and 83. And you can tell by the sights. And so the L-shaped sights, the rounded sights, it's kind of interesting, yeah. And then it's also when you're dealing with 85 Snake Eyes, a lot of times you get them with the 97 Uzi, which is not value-wise the same thing. I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture, Stephen.
So what do you think of your Snake Eyes, Rob?
I think it's brilliant.
You know, Rob is the only member of GI Joburg who owns a 1982 Scarlet. So I suppose it's fitting that you've got.
Now they're together at last. I just need to break his crotch and then they'll match.
Yeah. Sadly, she was a victim.
No, it's so sad.
Yeah.
She's so old.
Oh,
But
that's
it really is amazing, actually. I mean, he's literally just black plastic. I mean, it's quite literally just. There's the black character.
that insufferable enigma. He lives. Anybody remember what issue that's from? I know I dramatized it a little bit, but it's a very dramatic character.
Why?
Words.
Yes, we actually just finished up the Cobra War
Sick.
with him.
Ooh.
This is a little bit before that. This is in the team.
It is a little bit. Yeah.
It was Dr. Venom. He pistol whips Snake Eyes into submission. Thinks he kills him, but he's just, what is it? The Sleeping Phoenix or something? I don't know.
Yeah, there is
Stops his the inner anvil. That's
the inner
right.
anvil.
No, when you stop your hearts and
Issue 12
breathing.
apparently. Says
Thanks,
Matthew
Matt.
Comstock.
He's on it.
There it is.
My word, Brent, dude, thank you. Thank you
My pleasure.
for
my
the
pleasure.
experience, for the notion.
Question:
Letting
Does
us share
the,
with you. Yeah, Jason, what's that?
Does the Uzi and the AK, do they color match? Are they the same color?
No. Different colors.
Okay, then the Uzi is accessory pack.
Ah, I see.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the Uzi and the satchel color
Those do
match.
match, yeah.
They're accessory pack. Yeah, if they don't match the color of the AK-47, if they're lighter, then they're accessory pack.
I can live with that.
But
well, can you live with that, Rob? Oh, you're gonna live with that.
I don't have a choice.
Well,
but I'm very
hey.
happy. Jesus.
still very usable.
Nice.
Still
Well,
very usable,
That's
especially when you
kind
take
of
them out in the
where we're
wild,
at.
like you
we're
do.
not
Yeah.
completionists in any way, shape, or form. We just love the toys, and
Yeah.
we love their their signature gear. This accessory, regardless how you got it, is beautiful, and I'd say unsurpassed.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's the accessory pack Uzi is super serviceable. It's a beautiful item.
As is this incredible, immaculate Snake Eyes with, as I say, authentic loose knees. Perfect. Perfect.
I'm
Of course, this
stoked.
90s roadblock comes along and just kicks everybody's ass. He's super jacked.
No. Snake Eyes wins.
I did not know this, but he's got a tiny little paint application on his ear. Sick.
Yeah, man.
Where?
He's got an earring right there.
Any chat business we should get through before we start wrapping things up, brother?
I think everyone's very excited about this. Yeah, Matthew, as he said, it was his first issue, number 12. Zenhing, the same as Storm Shadow getting shot by the Baroness. Sabang says the rifle fits modern figures good too. The rifle we showed off earlier.
Agreed.
We've probably discussed this before, but our least favorite Joes and why?
Oh,
Stelvis 78. I mean, I think it depends on it depends. Like it really does change. I don't think I really have a proper least favorite.
Rob and I
Probably the Dreadnoks.
Rob and I have love for a line of action figures that routinely gets every collector's hate.
Yeah.
What might that be, Jason? You got an idea? Brent, you want to throw in
The core.
Say what?
The core. Is it the core?
The core. Well, no. I mean, it is a subset of GI Joe.
Ah, okay.
So
Ninja
Battle Force
Force.
2000 then.
Very good, but what I'm wanting to know is there is a sub team that is universally hated, but when all's said and done, Rob and I have an affinity for it.
Eco Warriors.
Very good, but I don't think they are universally hated. I think there are people out there, Alexander, who love Eco Warriors. We are two such people. And there we go, Jason. Awesome. Brent, do they do anything for you, man?
It's one of those things. Like I kept. I've been collecting when I collected as a child, so sort of that 83 to 87 period, but. Then you get thrown these really cool figures like the roadblock that Jason bent over, and these sort of items that even HTC has pointed out in his videos that are really, really good quality figures. You start to broaden your horizons a little bit and find a bit of love in all the color. The funny thing is, when the Eco Warriors in particular came out, I was adamant to touch them as a child. But a lot of the toys that I was purchasing at the time were things like Ninja Turtles and Toxic Crusaders and bits and pieces like that, which were hypercolor to the max.
And they do come with cleavers if they happen to have a chef speciality, It's like a very literal, Playmates took it to the next level, man.
But for some reason, it just didn't fly for me. And I think, even I think the Battle Core branding was a bit confusing as well. As a child, I didn't understand what the narrative was, and the comic book was becoming harder and harder to come across in New Zealand. So a lot of that storyline and that linked the toys together was lost on me. So by the time all these subset figures came in and all of that sort of thing, I just didn't know where the toy line or GI Joe was at, which was a shame. But a lot of that stuff early on was so important in hooking people in, but because it sort of dropped off, it wasn't able to keep people hooked onto the line as well, which is unfortunate.
For me, it all just came back to the toys. The toys were still the best toys your money could buy. It didn't need support of anything else. And to wit, the thing that Rob and I adored as kids,
Ninja Force.
Okay.
Ryan.
no one else seems to like.
The Spurs Force. What are they calling it?
I love Ninja Force.
guys,
Mm.
because
Oh, the armor text.
We liked the sort of the space narrative, but we also liked having like essentially Iron Man before Iron Man got super popular. You know, just a suit that could do a whole bunch of things, take a lot of damage, deal a lot of damage, basically like, you know, one-man army. That kind of narrative was something we really enjoyed. So those 4 Joes and 2 Cobras could do no harm.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun because I mean, we also did like superhero-y type stuff. So I mean, kind of like being able to go in space and be sci-fi was pretty awesome. So and it was nice to actually have Joes you could actually take out into space and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna take Kane or Cable, you know, from the X-Men into
And I
space.
think regular Star Brigade Joes were perhaps a little bit too slimmed down, or their spacesuits weren't particularly awe-inspiring.
Yeah, and they're a bit bright as well.
So the armor guys, yeah, that was my vibe. I also I had read the original novelization of the novel, of Starship Troopers, in which they all were like nuclear bomb wearing, power suit wearing, like firepower to wipe out an army kind of guys, not like the Paul Verhoeven film, which, you know, just made them out to be, you know, dime a dozen infantry getting slaughtered en masse. Anyways, how sick does that gun look in hand? Oh, so good. And the fact that this comes off a tree means it's slightly more malleable than the original release. So you can kind of bend it out a little bit to get his arm around the magazine. Because that's always the challenge with, you know, a bullpup design. You got to try and maneuver a hand around quite a substantial bit of plastic back here. But
well, I mean, all the weapons in the 90s were so large.
Roadblock's making it look good, man.
But yeah, it works for him, I think. Like the really big size. How did you get that?
For Roadblock, it looks perfect, but for most Joes, it looks weird.
Yeah,
like
way too
Bullhorn.
big.
True. Guys, I think we're going to start wrapping it up. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for the donations. Thank you for joining us. Like, I couldn't have thought of a better way to do this. I mean, yeah, it would have been also pretty cool on Christmas Day, but then I guess everyone else would have been busy with their own prep and stuff. So we did a little belated Christmas and shared it with you all.
So in the wrap up, something that Alexander ran off to go do while we were all talking and you guys were opening toys was he just wanted to give another thank you to you guys for
Aww.
You're wearing it well, young man.
Yes. It looks good on you.
so
It looks
I know.
Cool.
It's
I
awesome
even
in
put
red.
it-
I only have it. Wait, do I have the back in grey?
Mm.
A Cujo original, by the way. No one else owns one like that. I'm just saying. So soft. This is the softest.
Brent, anything you'd like to throw into the cauldron before we chasse into the sunset? Or not that?
Into
Not
our
that.
beds.
Yeah. I'd
It
love
was-
to
it
stay
was
and hang
great.
out, but honestly, I'm not going to be able to function tomorrow.
It was just great to finally see these 2 figures unopened, and you know, I really hope that you guys get some enjoyment out of it, and that they might make an appearance in future videos.
I'd like to think so, yeah. Definitely
Most-
Snake Eyes.
Most definitely.
Probably this guy. He's gonna die a couple of times, I'm sure.
Cool.
there's
Paul,
nothing that
what's up
beats
with
those
you, bro?
83s.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul, how's the art been coming along? Please.
So I
I
managed to
haven't
get.
actually gone back to you in a while.
Oh no, it's all good, guys. I was enjoying watching the unboxing and all that stuff. I managed to get a Chabang and a Crimson Guard out. Just little like busts, really. Yeah, I'm just doing the single color style at the moment. If you guys want, I can always post them on our Instagram and Facebook. I can just send you guys these images. I don't think I'll do them separately. I'll just keep them on the same sketchboard. I'll just make them bigger. But yeah, that's what I managed to get to. I didn't manage to get to a low light, so maybe for our next live stream, which I'm hoping will be soon.
It's really good, Paul.
Oh, thanks,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Really.
Nice. Yeah, I really like the visor on Crimson Guard.
Yeah, that was tricky. Hey, I was like, when you guys are talking, I'm like, how am I going to get this right from? Because I thought, okay, I'm not going to draw him in the same angle as Chabang, because then it'd just look repetitive. So I thought I'd have him a bit more like sort of dead on. So I'm like, wow, the Crimson Guards are very difficult to read dead on. It's like it's quite a lot of geometry. So I had to like figure that out. It's
I'm
almost
interested with the color. I mean, obviously you went against doing a silver. It looks more opaque. Nice.
Yeah,
Good choice, brother. Good choice.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, to do silver, I would have had to use like a light blue or some kind of white or something. I was worried that was going to look too stark. I'm kind of going for that old school comic coloring, you know, like back in the 80s when comics were colored with like Copic markers or inks out of the bottle. So they try to sort of go with single colors as opposed to gradations. Gradations are very much a 90s thing out of Image. Image gave us gradations in comic books, in comic coloring, but I've always liked the flat coloring. It's very evocative of GI Joe, and I like to do my concept art like this as well because it just sells stuff better. It just the 3D artists can look at it and they go, oh, okay, they know what's going on. They don't have to think too hard. I'm not trying to impress them, you know, because they don't need to be impressed. They just need to see what's going on. So yeah, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Bravo. And to everybody in the chat thread, thanks for joining us, guys. And to everyone watching this after the fact, feel free to drop us a line if you have any suggestions for a future podcast or live stream. Hey, we do both. We play both kinds.
It all happens. Yeah, thanks for joining us and I hope everyone has a good 2019. We're certainly looking forward to awesome times.
Plans.
Oh my goodness, plans.
GI Joe goodness. We carry the torch for this brand, guys. We are it.
Us and everyone
So-
in the community, I think.
Fly your free
Maybe-
flag high.
It might be too late to ask, but being as far away as you guys are you able to set good like collector goals as we walk into 2019?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, we kind of discussed it recently on a podcast. We kind of talked about like what is it, downsizing? Is that what Stephen called it? And Paul positively
That's what he called it.
Collecting goals.
I don't understand downsizing. The word doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. And you listen to Stephen, he's like, okay, I want to get rid of all these amazing memories we had as children. I think.
No, I prioritize things from my youth.
No, for sure.
And things that complement that. So, you know, things that I would have dreamed of having in my youth. So all my childhood Joes, fortunately, I still have for the most part.
Yeah.
There was
You
that one
replaced
sad incident where I completely smashed a lifeline figure, my first GI Joe ever, because I thought that was a clever way of getting the screw out. I didn't know how a screwdriver worked. Idiot child. I've said it once on record and I'll say it again. I'm actually at my collecting goal, if that makes any sense. While I absolutely adore getting new toys, we all do, right, guys? I mean, this is our life. We've tried other things. This is the only thing that sticks. So while I absolutely adore, particularly, you know, gifts from friends abroad like you guys, I am not going to actively seek out more toys for myself. I adore my collection. I'm going to treasure my collection. I'm going to find the best ways to display and show off my collection so that I, you know, if I want to take down the Rattler from the shelf, I don't have to get a step ladder because it's right there, you know, proudly displayed. Perhaps with a little air crew manning it. It occurs to me the Rattler it's a plane, but it's also a play set. I mean, removable covers, removable panels, opening hatches, a bomb load that is fully, you know, modular. You can set it up to just be on a kind of a combat air patrol with some air-to-air missiles. That's all it needs to have. Or be on, you know, all-out assault, which I always wondered, would it really be able to do the VTOL thing with all these bombs attached? Maybe a short takeoff and landing. But vertical? Nah, not on my reservation. Anyways, I'm getting off the topic. The bottom line is, I am so happy with what I've got. So I'm going to take a break, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, well, compared to you, I mean,
Film it more. Play with it more.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy what we have. I think, and I mean, I say on the podcast as well. I mean, I'm in a weird situation where my collection is Steven's collection, a lot of it. I mean, and it's essentially incorporated into his collection. So in a lot of ways, even the stuff that I don't own, I feel like I own it because I've always experienced it, because Steven has it. So like my goals, it's
me
just
hitting
weird.
my ceiling, how does it affect you? Or you're like,
I don't know.
Man, now we'll never know what it feels like to play with an AGP.
Well, I think maybe you hitting your ceiling might actually like push me to have to buy stuff actually, like properly. Because Steven's I think taken kind of like the lead mainly in our collections. I mean, I think there are a couple of things that bought for us. I mean, like the I've been drinking, so my memory's not so good right now.
It's also very late. I was trying to wrap
But
it
there's
up.
a couple of
And then
things.
Jason blindsided us
There's
with
a
a
couple
very
of
good
things
topic.
that I bought that we didn't have. And like, okay, cool. So now we both have this thing, or Steven has it, which means I have it. But I think definitely with him kind of moving away from buying new stuff, I might actually find myself buying a couple of new things. But I kind of have to like settle on what those things are. And find the space. I mean, Steven, you know, he has his parents' place. He has his own little like bachelor flat. I imagine eventually he'll have a house somewhere in Australia, and he can throw his collection into.
Guess again, bro. We're gonna work there so we can afford a place here. Like, Aussie prices, Brent. I don't need to tell you, man.
No.
Oh my word. How's the property market, brother? Oh my. And Melbourne, no less. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It hurts.
But no, I think maybe this will push me to buy more stuff. But I'm not saying I'm going to go crazy. I'm not going to be like, you know, I need everything from 1992. I need to own all of it. I don't know. I just randomly chose a year. But yeah, no, we will see what 2019 has in store for us. Maybe I'll start getting an itch. I'll be like, oh my God, Steven needs to stop buying that thing that
Well, off the top of your head, what do you honestly want? See, this is the question I play with myself. I'm like,
yeah.
but I've got all the best stuff. Everything else would just be kind of like, you know, like.
It's just like, I don't have that yet. Yeah, I don't have that yet.
Like,
well, yeah, off the top of my head, I can't
Ninja
think of
Lightning
anything
cycle. It's
necessary.
local.
Like,
Just
but
put it
if
in.
I look at like a Mike Bellomo book, you know, I'll end up just looking, oh, you don't own that yet. We need to finish this page.
It's a slippery slope, the completionist world. Jason, back at you, man. What are your collecting goals for 2019?
So our collecting goals vary, right? So Alexander has his own, and I've had to make me a list because every day it's different. So right now he's very focused on Sky Patrol and EcoForce.
Eco Warriors
Yay,
and
me too.
Eco Warriors.
Corrected. Good
Yes.
job, Al.
And then myself, because we've run out of room for vehicles and play sets, he doesn't care. I'm focused on figures. So right at the very end of the year, kind of like yourself, Steven, someone downsizing to only have what they had as a kid, I got some really lucky, nice, rare grabs. And so now it's, do I finish, do I finish year by year and try and be collectionist? Do I grab just the figures that inspire me or inspire him? Or do I just focus on certain things? One of the things that I have a benefit that you three or you four don't, being in the States, is I hit 10 to 12 comic and toy shows every year. I travel a lot. I show up at collectors' homes and they take me to their favorite shops, and it's kind of a thing that I really love. So focus for me is always squirreled. It's always fighting the shiny. But my main focus is trying to finish out a couple rare figures that I love that I don't have, and then as he gives me the list of his focus, trying to find good prices that he can afford with his allowance or his responsibility money, his job money, and then also what I want to donate to the cause. And in fact, the first grab of 2019 is something he doesn't know I have that probably isn't given much to a 7-year-old. So, which in fact, if you'll indulge me.
No ways. Please
Hold
do.
on. Here, hold this. Say hello.
Hello, Alexander. Hello. Are you excited, young man? What is your dad doing? What is Daddy doing?
Oh my goodness.
I have almost all the 83s.
You almost got all of 83.
I have almost all of the 83s. I don't have Snake Eyes.
Oh,
Pop,
sorry, man. This must be torture.
Zap.
Zap. Good luck. Oh, my word. Is that a Dino Hunters?
Ooh.
Oh,
You
fantastic.
got to speak.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Very cool. Oh, wow.
So, this is what we
well,
do.
That's the last we'll see of Alexander.
Yeah. So the Dino Hunters 6-wheel drive.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
It's tasty, man. It looks much better
found-
without the two-prong, what's it, Flak Viper
Yeah.
blow-up launcher.
So grab that. Yeah, so
Put on the cannon.
that's what happens a lot here is I find a really good price and I just
Hey, can I have the cannon?
struggle to say no when I know that it's his it's part of his collecting goal.
Good,
And
man.
so
Can I also have the fire
yeah,
emblem?
and so I know you guys have talked about it on the podcast, but Joe Fest.
It's
Will I
most likely going to be a
see?
no from me, unfortunately. Work has kind
I
of...
heard that.
Yeah, they're looking to install the show into additional theaters to try and close up a gap, because it's a terrible shame for a production to have downtime. It's very expensive for the production, so they're trying to make us work some more. Damn it.
I had a conversation with Cujo the other night. He is trying to do something to get us there. That includes Rob. That's Rob and myself, with one or two other like special guests. So I just wanted to see how that pans out. I don't want to.
absolutely only speak for myself, so yes, Rob and Paul are free to attend. Let's see if they can,
Make it happen.
fly without Mama Bird.
Yeah, no, I just want to for me it's very much a financial issue. It's just a matter of getting things sort of in
that's
gear.
always the only thing. I mean, we would absolutely love to attend. It's just literally it's just a money thing. Not that we're not asking for money right now. We're just saying that like it's a money thing. I mean, I work a 9-to-5 job. Paul is a freelance artist type dude, and I think at least like long-term goals.
I took the weapons out of his hands.
Getting to the States every
Just
2
go.
years somehow. I think that's a cool thing. But if Cujo can somehow make Joe Fest happen this year, I'm there. Paul's there.
It's still a complete enigma. Total mystery.
Well,
Awesome. If you're watching Cujo, 33.
I'd
hit you guys up.
Unfortunately, you don't. I don't imagine you can use your girls as an excuse to further your collecting goals.
No, not really. And to be quite honest, I really need to sort out my collection. I couldn't tell you what I have and what I don't have. So we're going through a large renovation here. So I'm constantly moving bits and pieces all around. So for me, it might be just a bit of a year of not adding too much to my collection, but actually getting an idea of how extensive my collection is or isn't. So I may discover a few gems, or I may discover a few duds. So that's probably what I'm going to go through. Yeah, it's still going to be good because there's still boxes of stuff that I've never opened, and I don't. Yeah.
Oh man, I think I still have dreams like that. Wow, I found these toys that I got 20 Christmases ago. Amazing, cool. Well, enjoy that. Post pics, please. Guys, look what I found. Awesome. And with that, gents, I think it's a wrap. I gotta get my beauty sleep because I'm looking haggard. Too much drinking Joburging.
Yeah, and like 3 a.m.ing.
Yeah, whatever. It's all for
I'm
the
still
love.
quite awake because what I've been drinking the whole night is essentially it's alcohol and energy drink. So
And when I got back here, Rob was having a very lively board game session with some of his mates.
yeah, it was brilliant.
You guys were shouting your heads off.
It's brilliant, but
You're
it's
the
it's
spy!
stressful.
No, you're the spy! You're the spy! Whatever. Don't ask. If you are a board gamer and you're out there and you're watching this, get hold of this guy. You can connect.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun.
I don't play on live streams.
True. Paul, any last words?
Yeah, no, I'm still quite happy to collect if I have money to do so.
And that's Paul Upshur, everyone. Good night.
Yeah, so like, I would like to try and get loose figures. I think I'm pretty much sorted for vehicles. If anybody cares. But yeah, I'd love to make it to Joe Fest. If I can somehow. I have got other plans as well this year. That are also quite exciting. So yeah, and as Rob said, I am a freelancer type, so I'm also sort of in the market for new work. So once I can sort of secure new work, it's easier to make those big plans. The good news
You
is
can't
that
just shout like that, man.
the good news is at least as far as visas and stuff goes, that's sorted. So the hard part is actually done. It's just a matter of amassing the funds to do so. So let's see what Cujo does. But yeah, guys, I'm also very jealous of that 83 Snake Eyes. It's very cool.
Ooh,
It is too cool for school.
it is a beauty. Well, don't snub the officer, man. Like, essentially, this officer could be anyone. He could be Cobra's answer to Snake Eyes.
No, that is true.
Proficient in 12 martial arts systems and all NATO small arms Warsaw Pact. Like, these guys were the blank canvases. The rank and file trooper was essentially that, just a grunt. But like, of the 3 original Cobra figures, he was your big question mark. You're like your wild card. So kick your ass, Snake Eyes.
And as anybody who does martial arts will tell you, the better you get at martial arts, the less fights you want to be in, because the more vulnerable you realize you are. So
Unless
I suppose
you're Cobra and you need to bring about a change to the world order, you've got to light some fires, man. So.
is that the 6-wheel drive?
There's a fox to me.
Yeah, the whining in the background is the 6-wheel drive driving around the carpet. Yes,
I recognized it.
Rob got me a
Distinct
pair of
song.
those some Christmases ago.
Yeah.
Not the dynamite.
buddy, let's see what you got. Hand it to me.
Originals.
Yeah, good times. Good
Yeah, you definitely.
So
Well, cheers, everyone.
has already been,
We all had a good time. We're gonna go to sleep.
Don't dip it.
I hope you guys have a good
That
day.
was so hard to get.
Oh, jeez. Take it easy.
thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for joining us, and thank you so much for my scoop.
I noticed you didn't open him.
No, I'm not going to. Keeping this like now I have my original childhood one, I have the new one I got, and I have a sealed one. So I have all the versions of scoop I could possibly need.
And a
Dave Cabal special.
no, what is the
Oh, the FSS.
FSS
I'm
one?
gonna open the FSS, by the way. That's gonna be
Nice.
fun. Not open that. I mean, I spent enough money on it. I gotta ruin it.
Scoop is a great figure.
Everybody
He's
out
a
there,
horrible figure.
we are out. Goodbye, Alexander. Enjoy that awesome 6-wheel drive, brother.
Good stuff.
He's gone.
Thanks, guys.
Hunt some dinos.
You guys.
Cheers, dudes.
And thank you.
Yo, Joe
Berg.
Berg.
Oh my goodness.
You can wave.
Paul, still alive.
Paul, you're
I'm gonna stop us
Hello.
now.
Hold on.
Ciao,
There was
Alex.
that awkward moment in a live stream where it's like,
How do you-
Oh,
who's in control? Who's driving?
It's Paul. He's the guy in charge.
and 2, 1. Hasta la vista.
Cheers, everyone.